Hi everyone. So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about Pope Leo's encyclical Magnifica Humanitas and some initial thoughts from the internet that I think are pretty interesting. My name is Victoria Holmes. I'm a podcast producer, and I also work for a political media company. And these videos on Catholicism are sort of a side hobby of mine. So first, I'm not going to get into a lot of the details about Pope Leo's encyclical, number one, because it is Monday, May 25th, when he released this encyclical. And number two, also because it's 152 pages or about 100, I think it's 152 pages. And I like to keep these videos pretty short. So what I am going to do instead is play a clip from an interview I did with Father Patrick Mary Briscoe, who is a Dominican friar. And I've known Father Patrick Mary Briscoe for about 2.5 years now. I first met him on a Gosplaying retreat back in, 2026, 2025, 2024. And I also met one of my really good Catholic friends, Sarah, there. I haven't also posted a video in a while, mostly because, yes, there's been things to talk about, but I just don't know if it's worth my time to talk about, A, and B, I don't have enough time to get really into the research and depth needed to talk about these things. The first two things that come to mind is the Orthobros scandal, where someone actually released a photo of his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, and that photo made it on Twitter because the same girlfriend made an article talking about dating in the Orthodox community circles. Like I said, I haven't had time to dig into this stuff. I just kind of hear it on the periphery, and I've also seen it online. And these are things that, again, need much more depth and research, and I just don't have that time. Initial reaction is I think that the release of her photo, of this intimate photo that she took, yes, it was wrong, but the release of it on part of the man kind of proves her point about maybe the caliber and quality of men in these circles. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate. I know that. It's a both sides thing. Like, us as women also need to step up certain things. That's just a horrible thing to have happen, and I really hope that she is talking with the spiritual advisor and she has a good group of a support system, a good group of friends who are around her and supporting her and getting her through this time. So that's one sort of, I guess, recent social media topic that's been trending. Another one has been this scholastic answers. Should you kiss your girlfriend? Or no, it's a sin. Yes, it's a sin to kiss your girlfriend, something like that. Like I said, I have not been paying much attention and getting too into depth about these things. I think I watched a good chunk of that video, and from what I remember, he was just providing a counterpoint to a video from the Theology of the Body Institute when it comes to kissing and arousal, and when that's a sin, when that's a venial sin, when that's a mortal sin. I have to say, I don't think he's saying anything that's wrong in the video. I am a little bit cautious of his Twitter account and his Twitter feed and some of the things he says about Israel and the way that some of his followers seem to egg on some more controversial topics that, in my opinion, I don't think are very becoming of Catholic men. Again, I'm going to get hate because some things are jokes, and some people truly do believe that Israel and the Jewish people are behind everything, and other sort of interesting theories about our government and the state of our church. You can go through my videos. You already know some of my opinions about these things. I'm sure if Christopher Wagner saw my videos, he would disagree with most of my opinions, which is fine. So those are the two latest controversies, scandals that have hit Catholic Twitter, and I did want to share my thoughts about them. But no, I don't think I will be making any sort of expanded video on those two topics. But I did want to sort of tease an interview I did with Father Patrick Mary Briscoe about this encyclical. So in this clip that you're about to see with Father Patrick Mary Briscoe, we talk about how you should treat AI and what that says about ourselves.
Catholic answers of the human being was made for love and was made for worship. That's what a human person is. And machines don't do that. They can't love. They can't worship. There's a great chasm here. The problem is that area is becoming grayer the more closely the machines imitate us. And so the principle of the document is to underscore what our humanity is, because people are forgetting that. And then we can talk about what the machine is and what the machine does.
It's interesting because it's this weird tendency that I see on social media how people will like abuse AI. Like they'll say mean things to it, or like other people will go on the other extreme and be like, "Oh, thank you for that answer," or whatever. And so I wonder what it says about us, how we react to artificial intelligence when we're quote unquote talking to it.
Absolutely. Well, see, I'm an Aristotelian, so I think what you does makes you who you are, right? Virtue forms you because of the kinds of things you do. So I joke, I tell people, "Oh, I'm always nice to AI because I want it to remember me when the revolution comes." And people think, "Oh, maybe I was nice to it." But that's a joke. I think more importantly, when when we're polite, when we're using the machine, we remember ourselves. We remember who I am. It's worth standing and waiting for a crosswalk because you're a human being and you can see whether light is changing or not. Your dog can't. So for me, it's an exercise of my humanity in a very simple and pragmatic way.
I completely agree. I go back and forth between responding like, oh, being like, "Oh, thank you, that's it," or just not having any sort of emotional response at all. But it's kind of hard because in the AI, it'll have an emotional response kind of
Mm,
in it already, so it's hard not to, just do a cut and dry like end of conversation sort of thing. And then another question about AI that a lot of Catholics especially are getting kind of, I don't want to say protective over, but this idea of art. Like art should be made by a person, not by artificial intelligence. And was there anything in this encyclical about art or about transcending?
Absolutely, yes. No, there's beautiful references, including like Beethoven's Ninth.
Oh, really?
We get a quote from Tolkien. The character isn't named, but it's Gandalf. I mean, there's beautiful Easter eggs throughout the thing. Art is like work. In the sense that a human being needs work to be fulfilled. A human being also needs art. And we need to look at art. Not that all of us can make it. We know we can't. I draw like a kindergartner. Can the machine make things nicer than what I can make? Yes, it can. But I need art for the good of my soul. The machine doesn't. It's why going to St. Peter's helps people to believe in God. It's why listening to classical music brings people peace. It's an amazing thing when you think of the triumphs of not just human technical achievement, but artistic work, because both are actually the kinds of things that nourish our soul.
So I hope you enjoyed it. This interview is in a podcast I did with the Dispatch, which is where I work. And it is behind a paywall, but there are some other social media clips that I'm sure we will be feeding out that if you follow my Instagram at Holmes_V, you'll be able to see more of. And of course, read the encyclical. Tell me your thoughts. Post your thoughts in the comment section below. I hate saying that. I sound like such a fake YouTuber when I say that, but I am interested in your comments, especially the ones that are a little bit more combative, that do challenge me and help me formulate my own arguments. So with that, it is a very rainy Memorial Day here in Washington, D.C. It's been raining this entire weekend. It was like in the 50s. I've never had to deal with weather like this because I grew up in Texas and I lived in San Diego and then I lived in Spain for a little bit. And it's something that I am getting used to. But I ask for prayers for two special intentions that I have. And if you have any special intentions that you would like to put in the comments, hopefully we can get some more people and have a community here of not just arguments, but also prayer and fellowship. And please ignore my hair. It is very frizzy because it is very rainy and humid and kind of cold this weekend. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.